ora koutou everybody, and welcome to another episode of CNT Live, where the only thing missing is you. Welcome back here. It's certainly nice to see you back here after a very eventful debut last week. So we are happy that you are joining us. This week, we have a great show lined up for you. We'll be hearing from Cindy Reader, our brand new field reporter, about a very controversial topic. We'll join Meredith Pincer for a look at the classic French croissant, and we'll be speaking with Joanne Tinnies, who's a botanical gynecologist. Interesting, we'll hear more a little later. So let's dive in, but first, here's the news at 9 with Bethany Bringers.
Kia ora, good morning, I'm Bethany Bringers. Spray tan consumers are jumping for joy this week at the launch of a brand new, more affordable substitute called Arsenix. Well, Arsenix cannot be used on areas easily accessible to dogs and children. It may well be used on the arms of some thick-skinned women. The United States government has come under fire today after giving another $9 billion bailout to faltering finance company, the Manstein brothers, and widespread excitement as the warehouse announces its two-day swimwear sale, including board shorts and wetsuits. The sale offers at least 70% off already very low prices at the warehouse and is being heralded as the best swimwear sale this year. Brent Ruddard, a representative for the warehouse, has been quoted as saying it is a good sale with prices that are much lower than the already very low prices offered at the warehouse. In sport, the New Zealand Women's World Rugby team has won the Women's Rugby World Cup for the fourth time running, making them the first in history to win 4 consecutive world titles. Richie McCaw, rugby legend, man and important public figure, has been quoted as saying, "But where's their balls though?" It's a fine day in the capital with a high of 12 and an overnight low of 6. I'm Bethany Bringers, and that's News to Women Today.
Welcome everybody to our culture segment. And this week, our culture segment is taking the form of an investigative report with our new field reporter here at CNT Live, Cindy Reader. Now, Cindy's been going hard this week on an in-depth exploration of quite a personal area. The topic today, waxing. The location, I'm sure you can guess. Let's go to Cindy as she takes to the streets and to the studio. Diving in, down under.
Kia ora, good looking. I'm Cindy Reader on the streets talking about and our modern aversion to the rambling lady garden. Excuse me, how grisly is your gash? Excuse me, sir, how often would you say you wax your genital area on a scale of 1 to 12? With 1 being never, 2 being sometimes, 3 being twice a week, 5 being 7 times a week, 7 being most weekends, 10 being most weekdays, and 12 being almost constantly? All right, unsure. Excuse me, ma'am. Would you mind talking to me about your vulva? Your labia. It seems some people feel slightly uncomfortable talking to a total stranger about their pubic hair. In desperation, I turned to my friends in the studio to see what their opinions on the subject were.
I'm totally for waxing. I think hair down there is so gross. I don't even have to worry about it though, because I've actually dropped below a certain weight where my body no longer registers me as sexually mature, so it all fell out, which is awesome.
The vulva is designed the way it's designed for a reason, like any other part of the body. If pubic hair wasn't important, we wouldn't have it.
A man did ask me to shave down there once, so I bought a razor and I slit his throat.
Well, my fiancé definitely wants it to be shaved.
Of course I do, are you kidding? I get it done when they bleach my
I would imagine. I mean, I've never really talked to him about my...
I'm thinking of getting a clitoridectomy, actually. You know, like those little African girls have.
But most men do prefer them to be shaved.
Pubic hair actually plays a really important role in protecting women from infections and rashes and even acne. So this current trend of waxing it all off is a real concern from the perspective of women.
A pretty hairy subject, all in all, and certainly one that elicits a range of responses, as varied as the size of a woman's or the shape of her. What richness there dwells in diversity. This is Cindy Reader for CNT Live.
Well, that certainly is a very hot topic. Thank you, Cindy, for... We'll be back after this.
Women. They're objects with a primarily sexual function. When used properly, they can perform a variety of tasks that may bring you pleasure. Spraying sticks all over your body excites women of a breeding age, causing them to make themselves available to you for your enjoyment and the enjoyment of your penis. Sticks. They seem to respond to it.
Kia ora everyone, and welcome to our Sexpert panel. Today, we have a question from Shelley of Tauranga, and Shelley asks, in last week's hot new tricks to try on your man, I think she's referring to the popular segment in Clit magazine, I read something called erotic hair removal. What is this, and also why? Interesting stuff. So let's go to our sexperts to get the lowdown. Allegra.
Well, there aren't many things that I haven't come across in my line of work, but I must admit that this is one of them. And I would suspect that that's due to it being quite outside your typical parameters of sexual expression, even for people who are quite adventurous or kinky, as it were.
Okay, Siobhan.
Well, Michelle, there are actually quite a few health issues around pubic waxing, considering that pubic hair is actually there to prevent infections and such. But there isn't anything inherently dangerous in the actual process.
Right, so it's not something saucy that you ladies would like to try out at all?
Jesus hates sex. It's probably not better to not talk about it or search for it on the internet because it's not what God wants. I find abstinence to be a useful cure for most sexual dilemmas. As they say in my church, no sex, no problem.
True. And no sexpert like the Holy Father.
Amen. If only God could forgive whores. You would so love my church.
Well, that's probably enough for today. Thanks again to our lovely sexperts here, and all their advice on those scandalous tips. And next up we're with Meredith Pincer. So let's go see what she's got cooking.
Hello, my name is Meredith Pincer. Welcome to the kitchen, where I will be cooking something called food and expressing my distaste for pretend food, such as oil-based seed margarine spreads, which are one molecule away from plastic and make your baking taste like death. Now, foods such as these often bear the Heart Foundation tick of approval, which is something you buy, which is why food like carrots doesn't bear the Heart Foundation tick of approval because they can't afford it. Now today, I'm going to be making croissant using butter, which is real food. unlike these batteries, which I bought, which are not real food. I'm still finding time to enjoy my Saint Syrup low-fat, sugar-free dairy whip mousse extract filler. I'm finding time to enjoy cleaning my oven with it. I've also put it all around my door frames and on my windowsills. I find it very effective against insects and small rodents. Now, you might like to serve your croissant with butter and jam, unlike some people who serve it with Olivani. Me, well, I'd rather kiss Gordon Ramsay's anus.
Wow. Meredith, they do look truly...
If you're going to say indulgent, then I'm going to slit open your abdomen, I'm going to remove your ovaries, and I'm going to slow baste them in a bain-marie.
Burnt, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. And... So, up next we will be meeting with Joanne Tinnies and talking through the ins and outs of botanical gynecology. Up next.
As a farmer, I need a diet powder food replacement that I can trust. When I'm out in the field, I don't have time to be worrying about unsightly fat rolls and cellulite. There are enough dogs on the farm, right, Sandy? That's why I use Extra Self Diet Powder. Extra Self Diet Powder uses various minerals and vitamins to do roughly the same job as food, minus the effect on your hips. Bowel, stomach, muscles and brain. Extra Self Diet Powder, giving me the confidence to be me. Side effects may and will include constipation, fatigue, paralysis, hair loss, depression and death.
Hi there, and welcome to our health segment for episode 2. We are here with Sabrina Sact. She is going to be sharing her new no-stress diet with us. Sounds like my cup of tea. Sabrina.
Well, Michelle, this diet is a total breeze. No wonder women everywhere are waxing lyrical about it.
Right.
It's called the no stress diet, and it's exactly what it is. No counted calories, no punishing exercise regime, no starving yourself. Just eat whatever you like and watch the kilos drop away.
That sounds too good to be true. Tell us more about it.
Well, it starts off by enjoying a lovely balanced meal of all of your favourite foods.
Great, that sounds easy so far.
And then you find a nice quiet space with wipeable surfaces and get out your body bucket, which you can purchase from healthpluspro.com, along with your No Stress Diet guidebook and your sexy teddy bear gag stick. Then you just insert the stick into your mouth, give it a slow, slight nudge towards the back of your throat, and then just catch whatever comes out in your body bucket. And then just literally wash the calories down the sink.
Goodness, Sabrina, that sounds an awful lot like bulimia.
That's by that woman who did Atkins, right?
No, it's a disease.
Oh, bulimia. No. This is completely different.
Really? Because it literally sounds exactly
Nah.
the same.
No, this is, for starters, bulimics, they don't eat carbs, right?
No, they eat everything and then they vomit it. Are you alright?
Yep. It's just these stomach ulcers I have.
I think we should call a doctor.
No, it's okay. I'll pass out in a second.
Okay, I think we really need a doctor. Welcome everybody to this week's teaching segment. I'd like to welcome Joanne Tinnies, who is New Zealand's only self-certified botanical gynecologist. Now, what exactly is botanical gynecology, Joanne?
Well, Michelle, botanical gynecology is pretty much what it sounds like. It's looking after the vaginas of trees.
Go on.
Well, Michelle, much like human beings, trees find it difficult to talk openly about issues relating to the female reproductive system, and as such the sexual health of a huge number of female trees is completely ignored. many native trees especially, have had to have hysterectomies due to untreated uterine fibroids. This, for instance, this was once the womb of a kauri tree.
I see. I think some people might argue that trees actually have vaginas or genitalia for that matter. How would you respond?
Well, I think the thing for me there, and the crux of the whole botanical gynecology is, hey, you're a tree. You might be different from us. You might be 100 years old, as this kauri tree was when she had her hysterectomy. But does that make you any better equipped to deal with an early menopause? I mean, by that logic, are you going to tell me that trees don't have erogenous zones?
I wouldn't dare, Joanne.
The fact is, Michelle, female trees have no voice. We are their voice against oppression, and it is only through our voices that we can get their ownership of their bodies back. The same as it is through our own voices that we can get ownership of our own bodies, which is still public property in the eyes of men, as are the Botanical tree that line the beaches, or the vast pine forests that those in the logging business chop down so brutally.
I see, Joanne. You're here, in a way, to teach us to be, metaphorically, the voice for our sisters, the trees. As a way to actually take a stand against the objectification of women and the hacking of their bodies through such processes as postmenopausal hysterectomy or breast augmentation or even the removal of pubic hair as foliage, through processes such as Brazilian waxing, which are all products of ownership that men still have over female bodies, just as they do over trees in public spaces.
Oh, goodness. That's a bit far-fetched, Michelle. I'm just here to teach you how to give your tree a pap smear.
Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. But thank you for joining us here at CNT Live. And next week we'll be having some guests here, and of course our lovely team of CNT advisors. So we'll see you back here next week on CNT Live, where the only thing missing is you. Good morning.
Well, I don't know about you, but I like what you're drinking. Yes, I don't know about you. Can you tell what I'm thinking?